So you're moving to the Boise and Treasure Valley area and you want to know everything there is to know about living here. This video is for you. We're going to go over every little detail about the Treasure Valley and help you get the lay of the land so you know where everything is. And we're going to get after it right now. Hey everyone, Curtis Chism, and we are going to be covering everything there is to know about Boise and the Treasure Valley area so that you become a local expert yourself. We're going to go over everything in a map format here, looking at where Boise is in relationship to Meridian, Nampa, Star, Eagle, and help you get the lay of the land so that you become the local expert when you move here, and so you know exactly which area you should be moving to depending on price points and populations and how much land do you want, all that kind of stuff. So before we get into it real quick, I am a local real estate agent helping people relocate to the Boise area. If I can help you with that, please reach out to me via phone, text, or email. Let's have a conversation and have a Zoom call and dive into what exactly it is that you're looking for so that I can help put you right into the right area of Boise. Because maybe depending on what you're looking for, you might want to be in Boise, you might want to be in Eagle, Star, Nampa. We're going to find the exact neighborhood that's best for you depending on what you're looking for in the type of house, the price point, type of home, the land. Depending on all those different factors, that's really going to determine where you're going to end up. So we're not going to pick that for you, of course, but we're going to help guide you as to where you might want to be looking so that you can end up in the right spot depending on the different amenities and the prices and type of home you're looking for. All right, so I'm gonna open up the map here and we're gonna take a look at everything Treasure Valley and the Boise area. I relocated from San Diego, California, and I absolutely love living here, and I'm so excited to help you relocate as well, whether that's from California, where a lot of my connections are, or from another state moving here as well. So, you know, a couple things, let's just get out of the way. Is it Boise or Boise, right? So I tend to pronounce it Boise. I might slip up every once in a while and call it Boise instead of Boise, but the locals tend to call it Boise. They kind of know if you call it Boise, you're not from here. But, you know, talking with locals that are born and raised here, they sometimes call it Boise too. So not every single local calls it Boise, but if you're from out of town, you're probably calling it Boise. So if you really want to fit in, call it Boise. If you don't really care, call it Boise. So let's move on and take a look at everything Boise. All right, let's go ahead and dive into the map of the Boise and Treasure Valley area. This is all the things that I'd want to know when I was moving to this area. I want to get oriented and figure out where it is in relation to everything and what's around me, and then diving into the neighborhoods and some areas that you will want to consider moving to depending on what you're looking for, specifically your price points and amenities, size of home, that sort of thing. So consider this a big overview of the geography of Boise, what's around it, and then a high level overview of the different cities. And in other videos, we dive into each specific city and what you can get for your money in those areas. So let's take a look at Boise and Treasure Valley. So of course, Boise is right here. And when people refer to Boise or the Treasure Valley, they're essentially interchangeable as far as if they're moving to that area. This is the major population center of Idaho. Idaho has about 1.7 million people in the entire state. And Boise, Treasure Valley area has about 800,000, just under 800,000. But rapidly growing. It is one of the fastest growing states in America right now. And for comparison's sake to California, which is where I moved from, we had a population or have a population of roughly 40 million people. Now, Idaho has a land area of 83,000 square miles, and California has a land area of 163,000 square miles. So more mileage, far, far more people, right? Over 20 times more people. Now, the thing about Idaho, which is really interesting, that about 63% of the land is actually federal land. So homes will never be built in 63% of the state. So there's obviously pros and cons to that. A lot of it's going to keep it super, super natural and usable. A lot of it simply is very difficult to build on, of course, because it's so mountainous. But that's also over time going to restrict the amount of supply that ultimately can get built here in Idaho, which will continue to support home prices, of course, too. So diving in a little bit closer to Boise. So the main freeway through Boise is I-84. And I-84 is going to connect you from Portland into Boise over to the 15 to get you down to Salt Lake City. So that's going to be one of the primary freeways running through here. And then it's surrounded by, of course, mountains to the north and to the east. And that's the foothills leading into the Boise National Forest. Now, not too far away, you've got Bogus Basin, which is about 40 minutes from Boise or about an hour from Nampa. So not too far away, and Bogus Basin offers fantastic skiing, snowboarding, mountain biking during the summer months. And then just up the way a little bit more here, you have Lake Cascade, and just beyond that is McCall with Payette Lake. Now, both of these are resort areas. McCall in particular is a resort area. Lots of skiing opportunities, lots of camping down here around Lake Cascade. And it's only, again, about an hour and 45 minutes, 2 hours. And then McCall is about 2.5 hours or so away. So not too long of a drive, and you're into some beautiful, beautiful skiing and camping opportunities. So let's start getting a little bit more granular here. So Boise itself has a population of right around 240,000 people. It is mostly built out at this time. There is some construction going on, of course, but certainly far more built out than the surrounding communities around it. You know, a lot of people, when they are moving to Boise, they're very interested in two particular areas, and one is called the Boise Bench. The Boise Bench is very near the Boise Airport, and the other area is the North End. And the North End is right up here, and it's a really cool neighborhood. A lot of older homes, craftsman style homes you're going to find here, built in the 20s, 30s, 40s, that kind of time frame. A cool little downtown right there on 13th Street as well. A lot of really cool pubs and restaurants. So that's kind of where a lot of people think of as Boise, and this is certainly going to be your more expensive neighborhoods of Boise, certainly in the $1 million price range for a lot of those homes. Now, moving out from there, now we're going to take a look at kind of relative affordability and price points. Of course, this is always a moving target as prices are generally rising, of course, at the moment. So let's go ahead and dive into the neighborhood of Meridian. So Meridian is a really, really popular neighborhood or city just outside of Boise. So Boise has about 250,000 people. Meridian has a population sitting right around 130,000 right now. And it is the second largest city in the state of Idaho next to Boise. So it's a very popular neighborhood, mostly subdivisions. Now, it's been around for a while, of course, but it was sort of discovered when the village at the Meridian went in. So again, I will dive into Meridian in a more specific video, but once the village was built right around 2005 or so, then Meridian really took off and a lot of development occurred. That being said, there are a lot of homes that were built in the 1990s, but a lot in the 2000s, early 2010s. Not a whole lot of new construction occurring right now in Meridian. Quite a bit of it is built out, but there is some new construction still occurring. So these homes are still very affordable, but are certainly going to be more expensive than areas such as Nampa. However, a more expensive area is going to be Eagle, and I'll dive into that next right here. So Eagle, which is divided from Meridian by Chinden or 26. So that's going to be the northern part of Treasure Valley. And this is certainly going to be your much more higher end luxury homes that you're going to be finding here. So Eagle, you're going to be finding homes between $1 to $2.5 million, but these are going to be very, very large homes in the 3,000 to 4,000 or 5,000 square foot range. Now, Eagle is not too far from Boise. You're about 25 minutes from Boise as you travel down State Street or Chinden here. So State Street is this road going through here, and Chinden is this road here, taking you down into Boise. Now, from Meridian, of course, it borders it. So if you're right on Chinden and you cross the street, you're heading straight into Eagle. And the main road into Eagle is Eagle Road. But from, say, the village to downtown Eagle, you're looking at probably about 15 minutes, potentially much more depending on traffic. Traffic can get really bad on Eagle Road. That's a really common complaint around here is traffic. So then it's going to take you certainly much longer. Now, to get from Meridian or from Eagle out to Star. So Star is kind of becoming Eagle West. So Star is certainly not nearly as built out as Eagle at this point, but a lot of similar homes are going in, and the median prices are certainly pushing up there with Eagle. So Eagle has a median price around $1 million right now. and Star is just sitting under that around $850,000, $890,000 as a median price. So a lot of people, if they're feeling that Eagle has been built up too much, then they're moving out to Star. And Star, from downtown Eagle to downtown Star, is about 20 minutes away. But in Eagle, there are some absolutely incredible subdivisions that have been built here. You've got Lakemore and Two Rivers, which are a couple of really fantastic ones. But if that's not kind of your style because you want a little bit more space now, then Star might be another option. Now, moving out to a little more affordable areas, then you got Nampa. So Nampa, in the map, it looks far away, but it's really not that far. So from the airport of Boise, you're looking at about 20 minutes or so to get from the airport to getting up to an off-ramp in Nampa, depending on where you're located actually in Nampa. If you're getting into kind of the downtown area of Nampa or around there, then it's more like 25 to 30 minutes. From Meridian, again, you're only maybe 10 minutes down the freeway, maybe even less, maybe like 7 minutes. But from a neighborhood in Meridian into a neighborhood of Nampa, it's probably about 20, 25 minutes to get there. But it is certainly much more affordable, with the price point being around $100,000, $150,000 less than Meridian. So that's actually why I chose to live in Nampa, is because I could get so much more for my money out in Nampa versus Meridian. So your homes are going to be larger for the same amount of money that you'd be buying in Meridian. So for me, I was looking at what I really want in a home. What were some of the key features? For me, we ended up with a 4-car garage. We do, of course, have 2 vehicles, and we'd love to park them both in the garage for the winter months and to get them out of the sun, and just to have some extra storage, that kind of thing. So that became important to us. Not critical, but it became important. And we were able to get a 4-bedroom with a flex bedroom, a 5th bedroom. And I work from home. I needed an office. We also wanted a flex space for like a guest room. We could have people come and visit us back from San Diego, or our friends kind of that are spread out. So we wanted a guest room. And then we have 3 children, and some of them are sharing rooms right now, but they're going to grow. And so we really wanted 3 bedrooms right now for that we could then expand, and one of them could take over a guest room, that kind of thing. So we felt Nampa was great because it was so much more affordable, and there's so much country out here. I mean, from Nampa into maybe 5 minutes out from Nampa, you're into farmland, and it's just 2-lane country roads. And it's pretty cool. It's super relaxing to drive around. I come from Southern California, just freeways and concrete absolutely everywhere. And you're just you don't realize it, but you're just under a lot of stress just from the vehicular traffic and driving around. But out here, just in the country, it's pretty cool. So Nampa's a really special place. It's really blowing up right now. It's the 3rd largest city in Idaho, sitting just over 100,000 people population. And right now, the median price in Nampa is about $525,000 versus Meridian, which is right around $650,000. So, and it's sitting right up against Lake Lowell, which is, of course, this huge recreational lake. And you can do boating, wakeboarding, skiing, fishing, kayaking. It's a really fun lake to visit. So it's right up there. And of course, within all these cities as well, I need to take a step back and talk about these cities, there are parks everywhere. So that's something that's really special about Idaho that I absolutely love, is there are parks kind of wherever you go. So I have very young children, and they love to play. So I really enjoy the parks, especially with the splash pads and that kind of thing. So moving up into Caldwell. So Caldwell is certainly even more rural than Nampa at this point. So you're going to, again, get even more for your money. And something that's really popular in both Caldwell and Nampa are these homes that are built with RV garages or RV bays or boat bays. So the RV garages are massively oversized garages, so you can pull your trailer or RV into it. So they're very deep, they're very tall, and they're very wide, as you can see in these videos here, and they're super popular. So you're going to find a lot of this in Nampa and Caldwell, not as much in Meridian. You will find these also in Eagle and some of the newer developments. So it's kind of a new feature that's being added to a lot of homes. Obviously, they're going to be a bit more expensive, but you're going to find these in these neighborhoods. And in Caldwell, you're going to be finding them at a little bit more of a discount because it is more rural. It's a little bit further removed from everything. So you're looking from Nampa to Caldwell. It's 10 minutes on the freeway. Downtown Nampa to Caldwell, about 15 minutes. But if you're trying to get from Caldwell out to Boise, then you're looking more about 35, 40 minutes. So a bit further out. That's actually why we chose Nampa versus Caldwell. We wanted to be a little bit closer to the airport because I do travel quite a bit back to California for business and to visit family. So again, Caldwell is going to have a lot of farmland as well, but certainly is going to be a bit more affordable. So people kind of have mixed reviews on Caldwell. They think it's so rural, it's so out there, but it's a really awesome city as well. And it's much smaller, 63,000 people. Definitely a good option depending on, again, what you're looking for and how much home you're looking to get for your money. Now, moving down into Kuna. So Kuna is a really, really desirable little city now. And so Kuna is super small, 27,000 people. A median price is technically less for whatever reason than Nampa at about 522,000, but you get a little bit less for your money in Kuna versus Nampa. So you have to be careful when you just look at median prices. You have to look at what you're buying for that as well. So you're going to get a good size houses, certainly for that price, you're going to be in the 2,000 square foot range about, but in Nampa, you might be in the 2,600 square foot range. More square footage for a little bit less money. But Kuna is super, super desirable, very rural, of course, great schools down here. But what happened is there was kind of a big supply issue because there was so much demand to move in Kuna, and they just were not prepared for that influx of people. So they really kind of put a halt on a lot of development for a while they kind of caught up. So they are starting to pick that up again. But that's helping to drive prices in Kuna quite a bit. So that's a complete overview of Treasure Valley and the Boise area. It's a lot of things that I wish I knew when I was moving here and things I had to research on my own to figure out. So hopefully that helped you get a great overview of all the different cities and the geography and where Boise is in relation to everything else around it. And if I can help you relocate here to Boise area or Treasure Valley, you know what you got to do. You got to reach out. We got to have a Zoom call so we can go through and find out what it is you're really looking for in a home. How many bedrooms, how many bathrooms, how close do you want to be to a lake or to hiking trails or to parks, that kind of thing, so we can find the right community to put you in. So please reach out, call, text, or email me. I've got your back when you're moving to Idaho. Talk to you soon.